recall the pattern of chest hair that Morton had had. He'd seen him often enough in a bathing suit, but the bloating, the stretching of the skin made it difficult. He shook his head. He could not be sure it was Morton. "Are you done yet?" Bradley said. "Yes," Evans said. The drape went back on, and they walked out. The technician said, "Lifeguards in Pismo made the discovery, called the police. The police ID'd him from the clothes." "He still had clothes on?" "Uh-huh. One leg of the pants and most of the jacket. Custom made. They called the tailor in New York, and he confirmed that they had been made for George Morton. Will you be taking his effects with you?" "I don't know," Evans said. "Well, you're his lawyer." "Yes, I guess I will." "You have to sign for them." They went back outside where Jennifer was waiting. She was talking on her cell phone. She said, "Yes, I understand." "Yes. Okay, we can do that." She flipped the phone shut when she saw them. "Finished?" "Yes." "And was it—" "Yes," Ted said. "It was George." Evans said nothing. He went down the hall and signed for the personal effects. The technician brought out a bag and handed it to Evans. Evans fished in it and pulled out the shreds of the tuxedo. There was a small Nerf pin on the inside pocket of the jacket. He reached in and came out with the watch, a Rolex Submariner. It was the same watch Morton wore. Evans looked at the back. It was engraved GM 12/31/89. Evans nodded, put it back in the bag. All these things belonged to George. Just touching them now made him feel inexpressibly sad. "I guess that does it," he said. "Time to go." They all walked back to the waiting car. After they got in, Jennifer said, "We have to make another stop." "Oh?" Evans said. "Yes, we have to go to the Oakland Municipal Garage." "Why?" "The police are waiting for us." Oakland, Tuesday, October 12th, 7:22 p.m. It was an enormous concrete structure adjacent to a vast parking lot on the outskirts of Oakland. It was lit by harsh halogen lights. Behind the cyclone fence, most of the cars in the lot were junkers, but a few Cadillacs and Bentleys were there too. Their limousine pulled up to the curb. "Why are we here?" Bradley said. "I don't understand." A policeman came to the window. "Mr. Evans? Peter Evans?" "That's me." "Come this way, please." They all started to get out of the car. The cop said, "Just Mr. Evans." Bradley sputtered. "But we are—" "Sorry, sir. They just want Mr. Evans. You'll have to wait here." Jennifer smiled at Bradley. "I'll keep you company." "Great." Evans got out of the car and followed the policeman through the metal door into the garage itself. The interior space was divided into long bays where cars were worked on in a row. Most of the bays seemed to be given over to the repair of police cars. Evans smelled the sharp odor of acetylene torches. He sidestepped patches of motor oil and gobs of grease on the floor. He said to the cop accompanying him, "What's this about?" "They're waiting for you, sir." They were heading for the rear of the garage. They passed several crushed and blood-covered wrecks, seats drenched in blood, shattered windows dark red. Some wrecks had pieces of string that stretched out from them in various directions. One wreck was being measured by a pair of technicians in blue lab coats. Another crash was being photographed by a man with a camera on a tripod. "Is he a policeman?" Evans said. "Nah, lawyer. We have to let him in." "So you deal with car wrecks here?" "When it's appropriate." They came around the corner, and Evans saw Kenner standing with 3 plainclothes policemen and 2 workers in blue lab coats. They were all standing around the crushed body of Morton's Ferrari Spider, now raised on a hydraulic lift with bright lights shining up at it. "Ah, Peter," Kenner said. "Did you make the identification of George?" "Yes." "Good man." Evans came forward to stand beneath the car. Various sections of the underside had been marked with yellow cloth tags. Evans said, "Okay, what's up?" The plainclothesmen looked at one another. Then one of them began to speak. "We've been examining this Ferrari, Mr. Evans." "I see that. This is the car that Mr. Morton recently bought in Monterey?" "I believe so." "When was that purchase made?" "I don't know exactly." Evans tried to think back. "Not long ago, last month or so, his assistant Sarah told me George had bought it." "Who bought it?" "She did." "What was your involvement?" "I had none. She merely informed me that George had bought a car." "You didn't make the purchase or arrange insurance, anything like that?" "No. All that would have been done by George's accountants." "You never saw paperwork on the car?" "No." "And when did you first see the actual car itself?" "The night George drove it away from the Mark Hopkins Hotel," Evans said. "The night he died." "Did you ever see the car prior to that evening?" "No." "Did you hire anyone to work on the car?" "No." "The car was transported from Monterey to a private garage in Sonoma, where it remained for 2 weeks before being taken to San Francisco. Did you arrange the private garage?" "No." "The rental was in your name." Evans shook his head. "I don't know anything about that," he said. "But Morton often put rentals and leases in the name of his accountants or attorneys if he didn't want the owner or leasee to be publicly known." "But if he did that, he would inform you?" "Not necessarily." "So you didn't know your name was being used?" "No." "Who worked on the car in San Jose?" "I have no idea." "Because, Mr. Evans, somebody did rather extensive work on this Ferrari before Morton ever got into it. The frame was weakened at the places you see marked by the yellow tags. Anti-skid, primitive in a vehicle this old, was disabled, and the discs were cross-loosened on the left front, right rear. Are you following me here?" Evans frowned. "This car was a death trap, Mr. Evans. Someone used it to kill your client. Lethal changes were made in a garage in Sonoma, and your name is on the lease." Downstairs in the car, Ted Bradley was grilling Jennifer Haynes. She might be pretty, but everything about her was wrong. Her manner, her tough guy attitude, and most of all, her opinions. She had said she was working on the lawsuit and that her salary was paid by Nerf, but Ted didn't think it was possible. For one thing, Ted Bradley was very publicly associated with Nerf, and as a hired employee, she should have known that, and she should have treated his opinions with respect. To call the information he had shared with those kids bullshit, a talk he didn't have to give, a moment he had offered out of the goodness of his heart and his dedication to the environmental cause, to call that bullshit was outrageous. It was confrontational in the extreme, and it showed absolutely no respect. Plus, Ted knew that what he had said was true, because, as always, Nerf had given him a talking points memo listing the various things to be emphasized. And Nerf would not have told him to say anything that was untrue. And the talking point said nothing about the fucking Ice Age. Everything Jennifer had said was irrelevant. Those trees were magnificent. They were sentinels of the environment.